So Jodi, thank you for joining me today.
I'm excited.
I am too. So our first topic we're going to discuss is how to start a conversation. And we're sitting here having a conversation, right? It's almost, I guess, it's just as fearful as us sitting here trying to have this conversation about having a conversation, isn't it? So, do you ever have issues starting conversations with other women?
Sometimes I do. I mean, sometimes we feel inadequate to be able to hold a conversation, or we're just not sure where to start. And I found sometimes if you just go up and introduce yourself and say, "Hey, I'm Jodi, and you are," and I just want to tell you how beautiful you are, or "I love that dress. Where'd you get it from?" Just the small step of just acknowledging that other person and just let the Lord lead into that conversation.
Yes, I love that. And maybe know how to start a conversation also is when you go up to them, and because sometimes we can just like stop there because we don't like what do we say. So maybe even before we even start the conversation, maybe just pray.
Oh yeah, I do that often actually. I'll see someone approaching me even sometimes, or even before I approach that person, and I'll just call upon the name of the Lord, because Nichole, there's power in His name.
There sure is.
And I never want to have a conversation with someone in my own strength. I really believe that I just need to walk in God's strength even if I'm starting the conversation, and I just call on His name and it's like, Lord, just give me the wisdom and the insight to know what to say, what not to say. And it's nice when we can get past the niceties. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Good to see you. Bye. And we think, oh, we just made a contact with that person. In reality, it was just a nicety. And I think especially in the South, we're really good at that, right?
Yes. I have caught myself so many times saying, hey, how are you? And then them saying, how are you? And I'm like, how are you back? Not even taking time, just passing by so quick. And that is not a way to be relational with someone.
Right. And then God's called us into relationship, and He's designed us to have deeper, meaningful relationships. So it takes effort to do that. But I think just starting off with, just trying to go a little bit deeper. Sometimes just starting with a little nugget to get the conversation going, God just naturally helps you go a little bit deeper. And if you find that you have children in common, or different work fields that you're in and so forth. So there's so much that we can connect and have a conversation about.
That's true. And what else is find something that complimentary about them, like like that beautiful shirt you have on, say, oh, you have such a pretty shirt. Yes. And then we can go and say, where'd you get that? Or whatever, just to start a conversation at. Because what's so great if we can find some kind of common ground to start having a discussion about, we'll start realizing there's that conversation will lead to other conversations, and that there's more commonalities that come out. And also, I mean, you never know by having that first conversation what kind of friend you may be gaining in the future.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think some of the things that we've got to overcome as women is the fear of rejection.
Yes.
It's like, if I go up and talk to her, will she even acknowledge me, right? And so that fear is not from God, that's from the enemy. Because the enemy doesn't want us to be about those godly relationships, but God does. And like I said, He's designed it for that. And so this is something that we just got to work through.
Yeah. And I think it took probably both of us, I know it took me years to get to a point where I was comfortable enough to go into someone and start being that person who started a conversation. And so I would encourage all of you ladies that are out there, if you're someone who's more comfortable, like with me having a teaching background and being in some roles where I've taught within the church or outside of church too, it's kind of helped me be able to start those conversations. But so if any of you guys have any kind of background or just have that extrovert personality where you're just outgoing and can speak to someone, I would encourage you to do so, because there's people that you may walk by who you may think, well, they don't really want to talk to me, but some people are very shy because they're introverts like me.
Right.
And it took me a long time to get out of that, introvertness.
Introvertness.
Yes.
I like that.
That's my new word.
Right. I like it.
Yeah. So, are you an introvert or extrovert?
I'm a little bit of both. There's a word, and it's in the dictionary, right? It's ambivert.
Why do you
Have you ever
why,
heard of that?
why do you take me to the dictionary first?
Well, because it sounds so strange
Yes,
when
it
we
does,
don't
right.
talk about that.
Right.
And it's like an introvert. For them to be out in public and having conversation can be exhausting.
Yes.
They draw more strength when they're in their quiet zone. Extrovert, they get their strength and energy when they're out and with the public and having conversations.
That's right.
But for me, a lot of times, both can end up being exhausting. So there's a side of me that says, you've had enough a quiet time and a long time. You really need to get some energy by being around people.
Right.
And then I find myself with some girlfriends, and then I'm just like, okay, now it's time for me to go introvert. So I just kind of like this balance of back and forth, and so I know as a full blown introvert, it's taken a lot for us just to have a conversation, but I know you
That's
enjoy it.
I do.
So it's the things that we've got to work through ourselves to really pursue having relationships and conversations with others. It's just what we've got to do.
Yeah. And I value so much our friendship. And I'm so thankful that we've had times where we started conversations for the first time, and that we continue to have conversations. So I encourage all of you guys to do the same thing. Don't let it just end with one conversation. There's going to always be something else. You can invite someone for a lunch or for a coffee, or just keep visiting them when you pass by them.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
So, well, I hope these tips has helped you today, and we're just so excited to be doing this with you guys, and we look forward to doing this again soon.
Absolutely.